The auditorium lights dimmed just enough to spotlight the stage. Where my mother, elegant in her tailored suit, gripped the podium like a weapon. Her voice, sharp and unwavering, cut through the hushed crowd of nursing graduates and their families. "I'm proud of my son, the doctor," she declared, her eyes scanning the room with feigned warmth. "But my other son? He's just a nurse, settling for scraps." The words landed like a slap, echoing in the sudden silence. I, Alex Nguyen, sat frozen in my cap and gown, the silver nursing pin on my collar feeling like a badge of shame. For years of grueling shifts, life and death decisions, and proving my worth in one of Chicago's toughest programs, all reduced to just a nurse. My brother, David, the golden child, shifted uncomfortably beside me. But he said nothing. He never did. That silence from him, from her, from everyone I thought loved me, planted the seed of something dark inside. Not rage. Not yet. Just a quiet, festering wound that whispered, "They will pay for this betrayal." Growing up in our tight-knit Vietnamese-American family in suburban Illinois, comparisons were the air I breathed. Mom, who fled Saigon as a teen and built a nail salon empire from nothing, measured success in prestige and paychecks. David, 3 years older, was her triumph, straight A's, Ivy League med school, now a rising cardiologist at Northwestern Memorial. Me, I was the afterthought, the one who wasted my brains on nursing. "Why not doctor like your brother?" she'd hiss during family dinners, her accent thick with disappointment. "Nursing is for girls. Alex, you smart enough for more." But I chose it because I saw what David didn't, the human side. During my shadowing in his ER rotations, he breezed through patients like charts on a conveyor belt. Diagnose. Prescribe. Next. I lingered, holding hands through panic attacks, spotting the subtle signs of abuse in a battered wife's bruises, or coaxing a scared kid to swallow meds. Nursing wasn't settling, it was my fire. But Mom's constant digs chipped away at me, turning family gatherings into minefields. David? He'd pat my back privately, murmur, "Nurses are the real heroes," but in front of her, silence. His betrayal stung deepest. Blood should have meant loyalty. But he let her erode me to keep his pedestal intact. The humiliations piled up like unpaid bills. At Tet celebrations with our extended family, she'd parade David's white coat photos while dismissing my stories of saving overdose victims as helper work. When I aced my NCLEX with top scores, she shrugged, "At least you passed something." David got a Rolex for his residency. I got a used stethoscope. I swallowed it all, telling myself blood ties demanded patience. But inside, the hurt twisted into resentment. I'd lie awake after 12-hour shifts, replaying her words, feeling the psychological scar tissue thicken. Therapy? I tried once, but admitting weakness felt like another failure in her eyes. Instead, I buried it, letting the silence grow. Friends noticed my withdrawal, the way I'd ghost family texts, but I waved it off. "Just busy saving lives," I joke, masking the growing void. That graduation speech? It was the match to the powder keg. As the crowd murmured awkwardly, I felt exposed. Raw, like she'd stripped me bare in public. David whispered. Mom didn't mean it, but his eyes avoided mine. Betrayal complete. In the days after, the wound festered. Classmates texted support, sharing memes about badass nurses, but it rang hollow. I started my ICU job at the same hospital as David. Ironic, right? There. Nurses whispered about us. David's the brain. Alex has the soul. But Mom's voice drowned them out. I began noticing her hypocrisies, the ones I'd ignored for years. Like how she bragged about David's sacrifice while ignoring mine. Or how she'd secretly funneled money from the family business to his loans, leaving me to scrape by on scholarships. Digging deeper in quiet moments, I uncovered more old emails where she begged David to talk sense into me about switching to med school, even offering him a cut of her savings if he succeeded. He hadn't refused. The silence wasn't passive, it was complicit. That's when the plan formed, not explosive, not loud. Silent vengeance. The kind that simmers undetected until it boils over. In Vietnamese culture, we say "Im lang la vang" silence is golden, but mine would be a blade. I started small, feeding the beast inside with calculated steps. First, I documented everything, her public slights, the financial favoritism, even recording family calls where she dismissed my career. Not for confrontation, no. That was too direct. I bided my time, channeling the hurt into excellence at work. In the ICU, I became indispensable, catching med errors that could have tanked reputations, including one of David's. A patient with kidney issues, he'd ordered a high-dose diuretic without checking latest labs. I flagged it quietly to the attending, saving the guy from renal failure. David thanked me privately, but I saw the flicker of resentment in his eyes, his perfect image cracked. Mom? She visited the hospital once, cooing over David's office while barely glancing at my station. Busy mopping up, she quipped. I smiled, said nothing. Inside, the plan sharpened. The turning point came 6 months in, when Stella Ramirez, a 17-year-old with a mystery autoimmune flare, landed in my care. Her family, working class from the South Side, clung to hope as doctors, including David on consult, puzzled over her case. He dismissed her symptoms as hysterical, pushing for discharge to cut costs. But I saw the signs: irregular vitals, subtle neurological tics. I advocated fiercely, pulling all-nighters researching, convincing the team for advanced tests. It was lupus, caught just before organ failure. The Ramirezes wept in gratitude. Stella called me her guardian angel. Word spread, patients requested me. Admins praised my intuition. David? His ego bruised when the chief chewed him out for the near miss. But I kept silent, letting the contrast speak. Emboldened, I escalated. I accidentally leaked Mom's financial records to a family cousin, a nosy aunt who loved drama. Turns out, Mom had skimmed salon profits to fund David's lifestyle, shortchanging employees. The aunt confronted her at a reunion, sparking whispers through our community. Mom's reputation as the self-made matriarch cracked, clients dwindled. She called me frantic. Alex, why didn't you warn me? I feigned ignorance. I didn't know. Mom, busy with patients. Silence as my weapon. For David, I struck where it hurt, his career. During a joint case, a VIP patient with cardiac complications, I documented his oversight on a critical allergy, which I corrected before disaster. Anonymously, I tipped the hospital's ethics board. No firing, but a formal reprimand, stalling his promotion. He confronted me in the break room. Was this you? I met his eyes calmly. What do you mean? I'm just a nurse. The betrayal mirrored back at him. The psychological toll mounted, not just on them, but me. Nights blurred into insomnia, haunted by guilt. Was I becoming the monster she'd accused me of being? The silence I'd wielded isolated me. Friends drifted. Relationships fizzled. I stared at my reflection after shifts, seeing a hollow man. The hurt I'd buried now a cage. But stopping felt like surrender. The climax hit at a family dinner, ostensibly to reconcile. Mom, salon struggling, begged unity. David, promotion denied, seethed. I arrived late, dropping a folder on the table, printouts of her emails. His complacency. The financial discrepancies. This is what silence buys, I said softly. Mom gasped, tears streaming. Alex. I was wrong. I pushed because I loved you. David exploded. You ruined us. But I felt no triumph. Just emptiness. The revenge tasted like ash, the price of my choices. A fractured family. My own soul scarred. In the aftermath, Mom sold the salon. Moved to a smaller place. Her pride shattered. David transferred hospitals. Our bond severed. Me? I thrived professionally, promoted to charge nurse. Even starting a mentorship program for underrepresented kids in healthcare. But the victory was Pyrrhic. Therapy finally helped unpack the trauma. The cultural weight of filial duty clashing with American individualism. I learned silence could heal or destroy. Mine had done both. Now, when patients share their betrayals, I listen. Advocate, turning my pain into purpose. But late at night, the what-ifs whisper, was the vengeance worth the void? The answer, like my family's silence, hangs heavy and unresolved.